Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the select board to attention, please. All those can stand, please stand. Wait a minute. I have to read this. Notice that the meeting is being recorded by Zoom for the purpose of taking minutes and DCTV. Okay. All those can stand. Okay, John, will you read us, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
All you're supposed to do that.
Chairperson Bob Bishop, Mark Strout,
Here.
Dan Esco,
Here.
John Boyle,
Here.
and Town Manager Tom Hutchison.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, the minutes of December 16th and December 23rd, 2024.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the meeting minutes from December 16th, 2024 as presented.
Okay, a motion been made and seconded. If there's any further corrections or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the meeting minutes from December 23rd, 2024 as presented.
Second.
okay, a motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussions or corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstaining, I was not present.
Okay, one absent. Okay. Okay. Public to address the board. This is a time when the public may address the board on any item listed on the meeting agenda or any issue or matter of the town. If you intend on addressing the board at this time, we ask you to do the following. Please identify yourself by name, address, or the company or institution you represent. The public address to the board segment will last no longer than 30 minutes. Each individual will be given 3 minutes. Please make your comments concise and try not to repeat statements made by others. Please address your comments to the board chair. Discussion or debate on any issue may not take place at this time. Please be cordial and respectful of others. I'll repeat that. Please be cordial and respectful of others. If anyone wishes to be recognized when the board discusses an agenda item, please make that request at this time. The board chair may grant this request. Address comments to the board chair and be concise. We are meeting in person and making this meeting available via Zoom for the convenience of the public. Since we are meeting in person, we will not be responsible for any technical difficulties. So if you'd like to be sure of participating, please attend in person. Does anyone want to speak in any of the agenda items? Dan?
I would be recognized to discuss hearing number 7.
Yep.
Madam Mayor, for you, we have resident. I too may be inclined to speak at number 7.
Okay. Sandy?
Sandra Almeida, 609 South Street. I also would like to discuss, probably before you make that discussion of it, have a comment.
Okay. Elsa?
Allison Hughes, CRA, I'm actually able to speak on discuss on
Okay.
Parks and Recreation.
Okay, sure.
I'm Robert Mary, 32 Hanson Street, Dalton. I'd like to speak on item number 7. I really want to speak on item number 7. And also on the council on aging budget.
Okay. Henry?
Henry Rose, North Mountain Road. I see we're going to be discussing green burial. This is a great idea. And I want to have to say it. I want to say it.
All right, thank you, Henry. Judy?
The concern 67 South Street, and I also would like discussion on number 7. Lauren Gafferty, 57 Norwich Drive. I also would like to discuss item number 7. Thank you.
Patrick Carter-Saul, 117 Raven Drive. I just have want to bring a couple of news articles to your attention.
We'll have to do it now.
You go ahead, do it now.
comes from the Melrose Police Department, Melrose, Massachusetts. I don't know how many of you've seen it. I don't think I've been awarded $3 million in federal funding for creating a net zero police station. In essence, lowering their carbon fiber footprint to close to zero. Be a cost-saving, healthy, efficient, green building. There are $3 million in federal funding now. The second thing is, not related to 7, but it's Chapter 90, provides funding for municipalities for the implementation of capital improvement on public ways. I want you to be aware that a bill that Governor Haley plans to file would increase the funding for municipal roads and bridges across the state, improving pavement quality, build sidewalks, restore bridges, finance bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure. She's proposing to increase the current $200 million to $300 million throughout the municipalities in the state, and that's going to increase Dalton's budget by $100,000, approximately $100,000. I hope you, as a board, responded to our state legislators, Lee Davis and Hallmark, to help push this forward. The preservation fund of $100,000 that we've saved, or it's coming from the state, will allow people to stay in their homes by lowering taxes. So this includes elderly, on fixed budgets, and others on fixed incomes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on. Number 6, appointment ratifications. Mr. Hutchinson.
Thank you. I am very pleased to present Joseph D'Onofrio as a candidate for town collector. He's here with us this evening, and perhaps you'd like just to say a few words of introduction to the board.
Sure. Hello. I am very eager to start working for the town. I've lived here all my life, and I previously have worked for the past 7 years in the Pittsfield Tax Office, currently as the assistant tax collector for several years under the guidance of the current tax collector. So I attended the Massachusetts Collector and Treasurer Association School for the past 4 years and intend to take the tax collector test to become a certified collector as well.
You go by Joe or Joseph?
Either works.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appointment of Joseph D'Onofrio as town collector effective February 5th, 2025, pending the outcome of the pre-employment physical and screening.
Second. Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Just one thing, Mr. Chair. Mr. D'Onofrio,
Yes.
you lived here all your life?
Yes.
Over on Pine Street?
Mill Street.
Milton?
Yep.
Was his your father?
My grandfather.
Oh, your grandfather?
Yep.
Dead?
Yep.
Oh, he's dying blind.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome aboard. We appreciate it.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hutchinson, next.
yes, I am, also, I have to express my, my deep gratitude to Tammy Flatley, who has been helping out the town as we've been in a rather complex transition. You'll notice her name is down twice here. The first is to relieve her of the responsibility of being interim town collector and return to her position as assistant town collector starting on February 5th when Mr. D'Onofrio will be starting. The second is that I'm pleased to announce that she's interested in the position and has been selected by the town clerk as the assistant town clerk because our current assistant town clerk will be leaving. And we would like to make that appointment effective March 3rd, 2023.
Okay. Well, Mr. Chairman, I move
2025.
I was gonna say, we're going back in time.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the appointment Tammy Flatley as Assistant Town Collector effective February 5th, 2025.
Second. Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussions? All those in favor?
Aye. And next, Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the appointment of Tammy Flatley as Assistant Town Clerk effective March 3rd, 2025.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you very much, Tammy.
Is she here?
Yeah, why don't you stand up so,
She's down there.
they can-
Oh, there she is.
Okay, Thomas.
Yes, I'm also very pleased to present Kimberly Weatherill as our first Conservation Commission agent, effective, and am proposing for January 28th, 2025. As you know, we've had trouble getting a chair for the Conservation Commission because of the onerous amount of training and work hours required to do that job. And I'm all for providing staff support when that allows volunteers to do their job more effectively. And so I'm very pleased to present Kimberly Weatherill to you tonight.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the appointment of Kimberly Weatherall as Conservation Commission agent effective January 28th, 2025, pending outcome of pre-employment physical and screening.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further comments or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is she here? Oh, yes, how you doing?
Aye.
Who you are?
So I'm currently an agent for the town of Richmond, and I just resigned from the town of Monterey. I was working in the town of Monterey for about 6 years, and Richmond, I'm going on over a year with that. So I'm glad to be in Dalton, which is so much closer to my home, and be the support that the Concom is looking for.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for the next appointments, which are committee appointments, I'd like to have those done by Alyssa Machino. Is that good, Alyssa?
All right, Alyssa, you're up.
Takes care.
The next appointment is for Deborah Weary to the Dalton Housing Authority. This is an elected position, so it's through the May town election. There was a resignation by Pat Stehenich on that board, so she is taking her place.
Okay.
And she's unable to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the appointment of Deborah Wary to the Dalton Housing Authority effective January 28th, 2025 through the May 12th, 2025 annual town election.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Kathy Kearney to the Green Committee. She also could not make it tonight. This will actually fill the Green Committee for once in a very long time. So she attended the meeting and she still would like to join.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the appointment of Kathy Kearney to the Green Committee effective January 28th, 2025 through June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
The next two folks are present, and they're both joining the Open Space and Recreation Committee. Brandon Quayle and Mary Hank, they're in the back row. They also have attended a meeting, their last meeting, and we're still doing. This will leave one vacancy left on that committee.
Okay, I'm going to do these together, I believe, just for
We're actually
efficiency.
two separate entities.
Oh, they are?
Stacked,
Sure.
sorry, I should have stuff like that.
Oh, one's 26, 125. Okay, thank you. All right, I'll do them one at a time. All right, Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the appointment of Brandon Quayle to the Open Space and Recreation Committee effective January 28th, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
Second.
All right, motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Was Brandon here? Brandon? Thank you.
And finally, Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the appointment of Mary Hain to the Open Space and Recreation Committee effective January 28th, 2025 through June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mary, are you back there? Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is number 7, discussion with the town clerk regarding mailing ballot instructions. I want Heather to explain what she did, and I got some updates. I talked to town council about this, and then we'll take questions from that, okay? So, Heather, you're on.
Do I go up front, Bob, and use microphones or reading their nation or?
Well, that would probably be helpful, yes.
Yeah, this is for DCTV. So it would help if you were near this.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying, so the folks that are in attendance can.
Yes? You can hear that?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for coming this evening. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Heather, can I hold off on you one
Yes,
second?
of course.
I promised
Sandy?
Sandy a
Yep.
statement.
Good evening. I'm here to speak in support of the town clerk of Dalton, Heather Hunt, and the assistant town clerk, Patty Melly Nichols. Recently, a member of the Dalton Select Board posted information on social media website expressing anger and outrage about a mistake made by the town clerk's office. Other members also posted their displeasure. I feel that this posting was unnecessary, unprofessional, and embarrassing to the town clerk, her assistant, and to the town people of Dalton. Social media is not an appropriate place for a select board member or any other employee to voice concerns about a town employee. I am confident a simple phone call to the clerk would have alleviated a lot of stress for all once the nature of the mistake was revealed versus jumping to conclusions about what this mistake might cause. We should be thankful that the clerk and her assistant rectified the mistake in a timely fashion as soon as she was made aware of it, on their own time and without cost to the taxpayer. I am hopeful the select board issues an apology to Ms. Hunt and Ms. Melly Nichols. In the future, I hope all employee matters are handled through appropriate channels. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I would like to begin this evening by thanking Chairman Bob Bishop for giving me the opportunity to provide an explanation as to the unfortunate series of events that began here on Friday, January 17th, just before 10 o'clock p.m., and have continued through a very difficult week. For those of you who are here tonight, and to the folks at home watching this meeting, there was an error, a small error at that occurred in my office. That is the office of the town clerk. The error that we are discussing tonight refers to the instructional sheet that was included as part of the vote by mail packet that were mailed out to 28 people in town. This generic instruction sheet was actually left over from the November general election, as the state of Massachusetts provides us with thousands of these instructions to be included in all state elections. And on the very bottom of this instruction sheet, a postmark date of November 5th, a date still fresh in the minds of most of us, would likely stand out as an obvious error or a typo, as the date noted it's in the past, not in our future. As we are here this evening, we do not want to make light of this mistake or make excuses for it. I believe the townspeople are tired of hearing these excuses from us, their elected officials. I take my responsibility as your town clerk very seriously,
and the integrity of my office is second to none. I am here tonight to provide you some clarity and to assure you that this was just a mistake. We are not perfect. And yes, we do make mistakes. That is what makes us human. Last Saturday morning, I received a call on my cell phone from Town Manager Tom Hutchinson. Thank you, Tom. As it is not commonplace for Tom to call my cell phone on a Saturday morning, I immediately answered his call and said, "Good morning, Tom. What's up? How are you doing?" Tom immediately assured me that he was doing just fine. However, he then stated, and I quote, "You, however, may not be doing so well, may want to dig a hole and bury your head in it for the next 3 weeks." End of quote. Being somewhat alarmed by his words, I anxiously asked him what he was talking about. Tom quickly explained to me that he had just gotten off the phone with Mr. Bishop, who had advised him that there had been some sort of an error in the mail-out ballot packets. Tom further stated that Mr. Bishop was extremely angry and had instructed him to not only get a hold of me right away, but to call town council. Without a moment to waste, I got off the phone with Town Manager Tom and reached for my car keys, while at the same time I was calling my assistant, Patty Melly Nichols, as I knew whatever the debacle was that had occurred, she would want to be there to help me. I briefly explained to Patty that there had been a problem with the mail of ballots, and I was heading to Town Hall to remedy the problem. Upon arriving at Town Hall, and by the way, that's less than a 2-mile drive for me, I was not shocked to find that Patty had already arrived at Town Hall, opened the office, turned on all the equipment, and was ready to assist in any way that she could. After a few short moments, we realized that the error was contained to only the instructions, and therefore it did not affect the ballot in any way. We drafted a letter along with a corrected instruction sheet, and we got to work to ready a mailing that would go out that very same day to the 28 people that had been affected. This, of course, was done at no expense to the town or the taxpayers. We worked for hours, checking and double checking everything to ensure the accuracy, and then we went off to purchase 28 first-class stamps and affix them to each of the carefully prepared envelopes. We also created a list of phone numbers for the folks that had received the incorrect date so that we could call each and every one of them to ensure we addressed any questions or concerns that they may have had. We did all of this while keeping in good spirits, knowing that we were doing exactly what the good people of this town would expect from the clerk's office. While in the office Saturday, working as quickly as possible to print the correction notices that would then be placed around Town Hall, the community bulletin board, the library, and the senior center, it was brought to our attention that a most unprofessional and destructive post had gone up on Mark Strout's Town of Dalton Select Board's Facebook page. To say that I was ill-prepared to manage the nightmare that was about to unfold is a profound understatement. The post that went up at 10:33 a.m. Saturday, January 18th, went like this, and I quote, "I was made aware last night that the mail-in ballots which were delivered yesterday for the upcoming special election had incorrect information on them. The return date and the postmark date of November 2024 is an obvious error. I have immediately notified the select board chair, as well as the town manager and the town clerk. It is the town clerk, which is an elected position's responsibility to make sure all information is correct so that we can have a proper election. The select board chair has referred this to the town's attorney, and I will advise when I have more information. I am extremely frustrated at this developing situation." End quote. I cannot put into words how shocked and saddened I was to see this vicious post that could only cause more harm than good. Excuse me. And further surprised to see that the post was sent as an at everyone, so that all 1,148 followers on this Facebook page were immediately alerted to my error. As you may imagine, the immediate outcry of many followers started to pop up, like always with social media. Some not so well intended, others just confused in expressing their distress over the situation. You see, Mr. Strout's post not only was hurtful to me and to my integrity, but much bigger than that, it was damaging to the integrity of my office to run a free and fair election. But this profound unprofessionalism cast a doubt over our whole election process and the security that our voters have the right to cast a vote by mail ballot and fully have trust in this process, a value that we work tirelessly toward every single day. I have to admit, after being notified by so many residents that this malicious back and forth dialogue was taking place at the very moment we were working so hard in the office to make it all right, it briefly knocked the wind out of me. But after a moment, we picked ourselves up, dusted ourselves off, and got back to doing what we were put in office to do in the first place, and that is work for all the residents in our beautiful town of Dalton. In the following days, the town manager, Tom Hutchinson, received a response from his email to town council. He subsequently sent out an email to the select board advising that the error that had been made was indeed relatively minor and has been actually made in other towns on many different occasions. Town council then advised the election should move forward. Although I found town council's response to my mistake somewhat comforting, I knew that it was further my responsibility to write a letter to a higher authority, that authority being Michelle Tassinari, who is the first deputy secretary, as well as the state of Massachusetts official election attorney. So that is what I did. Please bear with me a few more moments while I read to you the email as well as her response. Good afternoon, Michelle. I am writing this to you this afternoon in hopes you can assist me with an issue that has transpired in my office this week. The town of Dalton is having a special election to fill one vacant seat on our 5-member select board just until our regular scheduled annual election in May. Last Thursday, my office was preparing 28 vote-by-mail packets to mail them out to the 28 voters that have applied for them. In our haste, we inserted instructions provided by the state for the November 5th election, which of course had the November deadline dates at the bottom. The ballots started arriving on the mail on Friday to voters that had requested them. And at 10 p.m. Friday night, one of our select board members took to his Facebook page, calling out the error and calling out my office in a very unprofessional manner, which captured the attention of many. The next morning, this past Saturday, January 18th, my town manager called me and alerted me of the error. My assistant and I immediately went to town hall to correct the error. We mailed out corrected vote-by-mail instructions along with the letter explaining what had happened to all the 28 voters. We also have phone numbers for over 75% of these folks, and we are calling them as well to provide further clarity. We posted an official correction on the Town of Dalton's website, around town hall, the community boards, etc. Dalton is a small town, and word spreads very quickly, as you may guess. The election is still over 2 weeks away at this point, and I'm certain we will receive more ballot requests as the election draws near. Just to be clear, there is no error on the ballots or anywhere else, and the warrant's been signed by the Board of Select Board, properly posted by the constable, and again, all 28 voters have been notified of the error. I just want to run this by you and make sure that the February 3rd election should not be affected by my small error. As always, I uphold the integrity of my office and those who work in it and do not want anything to jeopardize that. Please send me your thoughts on this matter. With appreciation, Heather Hunt, Town Clerk. Michelle's response to me was short. You're probably glad to hear that. And she said, "Good morning, Heather. Based on what you've described, it seems like you've done all that you can. This is not a new issue. We had quite a few local election officials make similar and easily correctable mistakes in the past. We say some include the presidential primary instructions with their local ballots or the state primary ballots, as well as some including state primary instructions with the state ballots. As you've already mailed corrected instructions and otherwise advertised the correct dates and instructions, I think you've handled this as quickly and as responsibly as possible. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, and please let us know if there's anything else we can do to be helpful." I do have copies of that for everybody. I'll make sure you guys get those before I leave. In closing, I thank you for your valuable time and your hearing me out tonight. I also extend my most sincere gratitude to all of you who have shown unconditional support to myself and to my assistant. Although a very difficult week for sure, please know that your encouragement has been invaluable to Patty and I. You called us, you wrote us letters, and you just stopped by the office to make sure that we were still okay. I speak tonight again on behalf of my assistant and myself and many of the Town of Dalton employees that have rallied around us so quickly. I have never considered myself to be a brave person or even an outspoken one for that matter, but this has to stop. I am not here to ask for an apology, as I do not expect that one is forthcoming. I am here to rather ask you, our elected officials, to hold yourselves to the higher standard which is expected of you and deserved by all of the residents of Dalton. Let's together put a stop to the online and malicious social media bullying that has gone on for way too long. Let us instead roll up our sleeves and get back to work and show through our actions rather than our mouths that we want to work together, cooperatively, and that we are ready to do better. Thank you.
All right. I talked to town council about this. We sent him a screenshot of the whole thing. He reviewed it. He told me, number one, it's Mark's personal website. It's not an official selectment site. Number two, he did not threaten you in any way. He did not threaten you or call you any names.
I didn't say that he did.
No, that's what he said.
Okay.
So he said he was well within his right to the First Amendment.
Absolutely.
To post what he wanted to. Mm-hmm. Okay,
Oh, I can talk to that.
okay.
I emailed 12 hours prior to making that post. I had two people reach out to me. 12 hours later, I had another person reach out to me. I hadn't heard anything back from Tom or you, and reading your email afterwards, you didn't realize you don't get your email. That's why I went to make the post. Didn't hear back from the town manager. Had I heard back from the town manager that you were working on it, I never would have made the post. Tom never reached out to me, so.
Okay.
And my thing about saying that you're an elected official is they were calling me out for the select board for screwing up the ballots. It's not our responsibility.
I didn't screw up the ballots.
No, I'm sorry. The instruction based. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Dan,
Dear Phil, 36 Chivers Drive. First, to what you got today. If it wasn't the Mark Strout, Dalton Board of Selectmen.
no, select man.
Excuse me?
It's select man, not select
I
man.
apologize, thank you.
Right.
Why does he have a separate page except Mark Strout? You post on that site
everything that's going on in the town of Dalton. Closed roads, notices about, like Santa Claus and other things. He treats it as an official site. It should be considered an official site. I'm sorry, I just disagree with what the council said.
Okay.
By the way, the clarification of the election, the error that was made, was posted on Mark Stroud, not Mark Stroud, Town of Dalton. For the Dalton Select Board and the citizens of Dalton, January 27th, 2025. Excuse me. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. I have worked for and within the town of Dalton for 45 years. During my time in town, I have worked with numerous town clerks. The first was Bob Barton, and I've interacted with every town clerk we've had in that position since then. In my opinion, Heather Hunt is as good a town clerk as the town of Dalton has ever had.
Hold on, hold up, Karen, hold up. Lorraine Sheriff is not a bad clerk, okay?
Thank you.
I don't think that's right. We are not saying she's bad clerk.
I want to say in this position,
I don't like that.
I appreciate that, and I accept the fact that you don't like that. But may I continue?
Yes, as long as it don't get derogatory.
Well, it wasn't going to.
Her compassion,
Right.
her compassion for the community and its citizens is shown every day. Her knowledge and her ability to do the job is unquestioned and clearly demonstrated every day. She will not compromise the integrity of her office. Until recently, her performance as town clerk has never been questioned. The town of Dalton is lucky to have a person with integrity, such as Heather Hunt as our town clerk. I only wish that I could say the same about some other elected officials. Others and I are here tonight in support of Heather Hunt and are very interested in seeing if there's any integrity left in other departments of town government. Thank you.
Anyone else? Deb?
Mary, I'm hoping that Mr. Stroud will go online and read half the information that he put there, with maybe not an apology to Heather, but to apology to all your fans.
I'll talk to Heather after this meeting.
But 1,700 people or 1,000 or whatever your readers are, they should know too.
I'll talk to
Just
Heather.
saying, yeah. Right.
What else? Judy?
I also went on to Mark's posting because I was so annoyed because I have worked with these people at the elections for the last few years and they are beyond reproach. And I said to you, that was not the place for you to put something like that in. And he did kind of agree with me, not totally, but I just wanted you to know that it's not just Heather, it's not just Patty, it's everybody that feels that way.
Anyone else? Heather, thank you for correcting that. Okay, one back.
Maureen Gafferty, 67 Northern Drive, Dalton. I have worked with many town clerks over my 20-plus years at Berkshire Regional Planning Commission. I've worked with town clerks across the whole town. And I applaud what Heather and Patty did to take care of their error. Everything was done transparently. It was done openly for the public to make awareness of the error, and it was done professionally. I've also worked on election committees, and I'm on the election crew here for Dalton. This is the second town I've worked elections on, and it's done professionally all the way around. It's relatively a small area in scope. It was taken care of. Inquiries were made to town council about the integrity of the election. Let's move forward. I look forward to working with Heather and Patty on the next election, and I hope everyone comes to the election and feels it's fair, and it's always, always a lot of hard work for the town clerk. So let's all thank Heather and Patty for taking care of the problem, and let's move forward at the town. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Number 8. John, green barrels.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can everyone hear me? I'm John Bartels.
Excuse me? Don't trip over the wires.
Oh, thank you. I'm John Bartels. I'm a member of the Dalton Cemetery Trustees. I'm the treasurer. With me this evening is our chair, Judy Duville. And I'm here to hopefully get a warrant article on the annual town meeting warrant with regard to green burials. And just to show of hands, because I'm gonna, you all know what I'm gonna ask. Anyway, because I want to present this at town meeting too. Does everyone know what a green burial is? No, it's a natural burial. And it's a burial where a person is buried, not embalmed, in either a wooden box, cardboard box, or I should say coffin, a shroud, biodegradable clothing, and they're placed in the ground to naturally go into the earth, versus having a regular burial, which is in a vault, in a casket, and you're sealed in the vault. That's basically the difference. And does the board have the... We've been working on this for about 2 years now. And came across it looking at the Great Barrington website, and they've been offering green burials since 2020, I believe. And more research was done. There are many towns within the Commonwealth that allow green burials or natural burials. In Berkshire County, there's a handful. It's more towards the east that this is allowed or this is done. And according to general laws, we as the Dalton Cemetery trustees have to ask permission from the town to be able to allow these burials, and then to create rules and regulations regarding green burials. If you go on the town website, you'll see we have rules and regulations for a lot of stuff with regard to the cemeteries. This will be in addition to it. And that's what I'd like to pitch to the board tonight, and later on to the attendees of the annual time. So in the packet that I gave you, there's a very simple warrant article to just ask the town to allow us to create rules and regulations regarding green burials.
Chief, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I don't want to be morbid, but is this settling with the cemetery, like the ground settling when you do a burial?
That's a good question. There will be, yes, from decay, there will be settling at the grave. And that's why over the year, or years, that this takes place, because it will take time for the remains to decay and go into the ground, but there will be a settling of the earth. And there's a perpetual care fee that you will want to institute so that the town goes back, builds in the depression, on a yearly basis, so it's level ground. That is one of the things that could be a problem, but really isn't, because we keep tabs on it. You can see the ground settling, you can fill it in, you can reseed, and there won't be a hazard to people walking through the cemetery. There's also a way to alleviate this with a wall that doesn't have a bottom. It has a top, it has sides, but no bottom. And what we want to do is to allow this only in Ashelot Cemetery. And the main reason for that is that there's space. The other reason is we did a perk test for the cemetery to make sure that there's proper drainage, but also to make sure that whatever does leach, for a better term, into the soil doesn't go into the water. And so we had perk tests done by Hill Engineering. This past last year, Judy? Last year. And we submitted those results to the Conservation Commission for review back in August. And I haven't gotten a response, so I guess good news, no news is good news, but there is no water adjacent to Ashelot Cemetery. There's proper drainage. It's not going to, anything that does decay and go into the earth, it's not going to go into the aquifer, let's put it that way. And so in that regard, we've covered that base. And we're going to, if it's allowed, create an area specifically for green burials. So it's just not everywhere.
Okay.
The natural burials. However, say in the place where there's already plots, people using the plots, say if a partner, a husband or wife, or a partner dies and they had a regular burial in the sections that are now being used, there's still an open plot in that space. So what we were planning on doing is if someone wanted to be buried, a natural burial or a green burial, we could do that with one of those vaults that doesn't have a bottom. So in that respect, the cemetery department doesn't have to worry about depressions. And if they have to drive over it to get to another burial plot, dig a grave, they won't have that worry about a collapse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
quick question.
yes.
Has there been many requests or demand for this, for lack of better words, process by potential clients in Dalton?
We've had a couple. And they've asked if we allow it, and we don't allow it at this point in time, but we were looking into it. And when I contacted Ray Barrington about it, and they have a contractor that digs graves there. They don't have a cemetery department that digs graves and takes care of the cemetery. And I spoke to that individual, and he was saying, he gave me a bunch of tips on what to ask, what to look into. Make sure you do this with your cemetery department, which, by the way, let's see right now, so they're fine. We've been in contact with the highway department, cemetery department, and asked for their input too, as for the people that are actually going to do the burials, to see if they have any concerns. Because there are certain things you have to take into consideration, because we don't use the vault. If you don't use a wooden casket, then you're using a person who's in a shroud, which is difficult to place that person into the ground. So what do? You have a burial. So the guys are going to have a bit of a change in what they have to do when they do have a green barrier. And we address those concerns so far in the rules that we started setting up. You may have noticed that is in your packet. And in speaking to them, they're happy with what we've done so far. And this is a work in progress too. If we set these rules up, they'll probably change over time. Because once we get to do these variables, we're going to find out there are different things that we have to take into consideration. So we'll start somewhere here, like with those rules that I gave you, but we'll probably change that over time. And that's basically it. I'd like to, or we'd like to have this under the annual town meeting, explain it to the attendees, and hopefully they'll agree that we can go ahead and do this. It's just another option for the people in town to have when they pass.
Awesome.
That's my pitch.
Well, I'm totally in support of this, John.
Yeah. I'm in support. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple more questions.
Sure.
It is noted in here that to qualify for this procedure, your body must be free of disease and contaminants.
Yep.
And that has to be authorized by the state.
Thank you.
And could that turn into an onerous, delaying, bureaucratic process? Like the state does everything else?
No, it shouldn't. Our Board of Health,
Or does the Board of Health have control over it?
the Board of Health does.
Our local board.
Our local Board of Health does, yeah. We did talk to the Board of Health about this, in that second paragraph, you'll see that there's a highlighted bold area, where it says all deceased bodies are allowed in green burial unless the CDC or the Massachusetts Department of Health deems the deceased cast contains any disease unsuitable for a green burial, and thus the Board of Health, maybe I should put in the local Board of Health,
Yeah, that's why I asked the question.
will not approve such a burial. This Board of Health is going to approve the burial,
Yes.
all green burials. So if there's a known disease such as anthrax, Ebola, or prion diseases, it won't be approved. And they keep in touch with the CDC and the Mass Department of Health.
We flushed
So in that respect, that type of burial will not be allowed. And green burials have to take place usually, unless the funeral home can make arrangements, they have to be done within 48 to 72 hours.
It's going to be quick, I would imagine.
And that's naturally because, being that the person is not bound, decay starts rather quickly. So,
So
Good question.
it's possible that, say, some of that happens on Friday, and Monday was a holiday. So when they call the emergency meeting of the Board of Health to authorize that burial?
there'll be a go-to person, so to speak, to sign off on that.
There's a health agent.
The health agent, yes. It will be the health agent to sign off on it.
That's good.
And they're fully aware that this is a very quick turnaround at the time of death to the time of burial. And so does the cemetery department. They understand that it's going to be that fast.
So what you're asking us to do is place this petition or this article on the annual town warrant for consideration by the town voters.
Yes, please.
As the Board of Cemetery Trustees voted in favor of this?
Yes, we have. Like I said, we've been working on it for 2 years now. And we're trying to hit all the bases so that when people do have these questions, we'll be able to answer them.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would move that we authorize the placement of this article on the annual town meeting warrant.
Second. Okay. A motion, for the record, I'm totally in agreement with it. Anyone else want to comment?
Can I ask a question, make a comment?
Wait till we take a vote, Henry.
It's time for the discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm on the Conservation Commission. I think we missed your email, but I can't imagine there are resources there that are a problem.
Well, I sent on, if I may say so. Cheryl did respond to me in August, just said she would show it to the commission. And I imagine that it was shown.
She just texted me. There are no resources. They're close.
I'm sorry, what was that?
She just texted me. She said she did see it and there were no resources there, meaning no wetlands and streams. So we are fine.
So we're good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So what else? Still need it?
No.
No.
Anthony?
I like that. I think that's good.
Well, we have to, I had a very good conversation, lengthy conversation with, Nick Flynn of Flynn Dag Holy Funeral Home. And he expressed concern, not concern, but they do a lot of green burial, or quite a few green burials throughout the county. And he just said there are certain concerns you need to know when digging the graves and when the family is there at the funeral, those type of things, which was very good. We planned, if this all goes through, to put the section for green burials. And if you're familiar with Ashlot Cemetery, these are only, you only want to allow these in Ashlot Cemetery, would be on the south side of the cemetery by the pine trees, if you're familiar with that. Yeah. Because that's where we did the perk tests, and that's where we have the monitoring wells. So we can continually monitor the area throughout the time that we do this. Any other questions, sir?
Okay, a vote's on the floor. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We sign the warrant, Ken.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 9, FY 26 budget plan.
Yeah, first of all I got for you is, our 171 to Conservation Commission. And, the expenses are, there, that's reported.
Can everybody be quiet, please? If you want to leave, please talk out in the other room.
Yes, thank you. I have, just one change, and that is the introduction of the salary for this budget. So the expenses are level funded. The salary is based on 7 hours per week. If necessary, of course, you can get a transfer from the reserve fund for more hours. But right now, we have it down to $10,636.
Okay. Any questions? Good.
February, what are we looking for? I think it's tomorrow.
January 28th.
Tomorrow, yes.
TA, this is the new Conservation Commission position.
Right.
It's
Well
needed.
deserved.
Move on.
Yeah. Thank you. Green Dalton Committee. See the money shifted from advertising.
Hey,
Let's hold the meeting.
people, please take it out in the other room.
We have more business to attend to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, yes, Green Dalton Committee, a rise of just $200, but restructured, as you see before you, much less money for advertising and art. That has been spread between other supplies, including an infrared camera for looking at heat, and a little more money for meetings and conferences, some money for travel to those meetings and conferences, and $400, very small amount for minor engineering services, cost estimates, looking at the feasibility of some projects perhaps.
Okay. Any questions, guys?
What's the infrared camera for? We had Henry Rhodes. Henry, can you explain what this is green, Dalton?
I'm not on green.
Yeah.
I believe the infrared was actually an error. I believe we had stated about it, but I shouldn't believe it. They purchased 2 last year. The wording itself was just the error. They purchased 2 last year that the library let out.
Also, you can see this if you're losing energy. How do you
know what other supplies are for then?
Could we table this budget for presentation to the board at the next meeting, just to get clarity on if the infrared camera is a part of it or not, please? Thank you.
Yep.
Next is the town engineer. This is engineering requests that may come up, small requests throughout the year. This year we spent more than the amount budgeted for doing the town hall HVAC and plumbing engineering. We just subsidized that with a little from the reserve fund. So my proposal is to level fund that for this year.
TA.
Okay.
Council on Aging. Do we have, there we have Ms. Pizzi coming up to tell us about, first, let me mention that this, is the year when I would like to propose that, the director of the Council on Aging be promoted to a director of Health and Human Services with the director of Council on Aging as one of the budgets. The director of Health and Human Services would also manage the Board of Health budget and the Board of Health and the Veterans Agent and a contract we have with Pittsfield. That puts the 500 category, this is 541. It puts everything under that category under one director. This is,
So Agnes will report to Kelly?
yes. And that involves a rise of an extra step as a promotion for the current occupant.
But this, I don't think anything should be reported to Kelly. She should be reporting to the Board of Health. She's the Board of Health agent.
Yes. For policy,
Clarify.
yes, for policy matters, she reports to the Board of Health. For any administrative areas, human resources, questions like that, she would report to the same as she reports to me.
I mean, I think he should maybe tell us a little bit about this restructuring of town government first. Is she going to be like a department head in the town hall, or is she still going to be here instead of council meeting?
No, yes, nothing is changing except the title and the duties. And bumping up the step for taking on that responsibility. And I have been mentioning this over time, for some time now, that this was going to be something I would be bringing to the board. So now I'm bringing it as part of this budget process.
I'm just don't continue to call him, whatever you say, I can go. And he's going to be charged of human resources.
No, this is human services.
Human services.
Health and Human Services. If there ever were a social worker in the town, that would be something that would also fall into the department.
Even though we're do that.
Like, my concern would be growing the role, but having the role be based out of the senior center and not the town hall, where, most positions that are public facing, that would have a need for town folks to interact with. I mean, they go to town hall generally to talk about town business. They wouldn't think to come to the senior center. So, I maybe this semantics and I'm quibbling, but The Director of Health and Human Services would probably be best suited to work in town hall and not necessarily in the senior center, even if they oversee the senior center.
Perhaps if we got a new town hall, that would be a great thing. The work
Yeah, well,
will
it's still happening
be
right now, but
95% plus council on aging. You know,
understood.
I'm sure Kelly would like it to be almost
I
100%.
do think you gotta do a better job of bringing this to us. When we talk about combining stuff and overseeing this. Prior to, and I know you said you brought it up before, but prior to coming to us for a budget, I would like to have had this discussion at the end of last year. With an agenda item.
I think it has come up. If we were to go back to previous minutes, but obviously now that we're seeing the budget impact, it's a very front and center conversation now. I'm not necessarily against it by any means. Overall, though, I am concerned about budget creep and adding a little here, a little there, here, there, and it all adds up. And I'm concerned about the impact to residents' tax bills. That's, if there's a need for it, then there's a need. And I won't deny that, but I'm hesitant to support huge increases, I think, is where my viewpoint kind of centers. But I want to hear what the rest of the board has to say, if there's any more comments.
Yeah, anyway. It's not human resources, it's gonna be human services. That's gonna be part of this newly created department, right?
Health and Human Services.
So what does that entail?
That is the name generally given to all of the 500 member accounts in the town. So it includes Veteran Services, right? And the Board of Health. That's also a 500 level thing. And together,
Oh, the number of
that's
these,
all
so
Health and Human Services.
that would be the Veterans Department, which is a good move because he already has his office hours down here. When they start showing up, which I believe they have. And, okay. I think it's a good idea to consolidate. And like, some, department and overseeing all of this. It lessens, your workload and everybody else's workload. And, as I said, some of these activities are already central to this business, namely the veterans part. Oh, I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Anyone else? Mark? Dan?
May I speak?
Bob?
I'm on the board of the Council on Aging, granted it's a advisory board, but we've discussed this as a board several times now. And we're very concerned because Kelly is, she doesn't have a lot of time. And by adding this additional supervisory piece, I'm concerned that she won't be able to do either one well.
Oh, what do you think, Kelly? Can you handle it?
I'm actually concerned about that also. The grant that I've been working on, the hybrid grant, it's been taking a lot of my time.
If we do this, it's gonna put you at a disadvantage. I mean, that's the last thing we wanna do.
Yeah, and actually most of the planning isn't even being for me because, I'm looking at retiring within a couple of years. So, whatever is put in place is going to be more for my predecessor than myself.
Well, the last thing we wanna do is overload you so you can't do your job. That's not right.
We oversee the budget, I'm sorry, Bob. I just,
Okay.
we're concerned.
Thank you for your concern.
Who oversees the veterans now?
I did.
Guess what?
And the Board of Health.
Guess what? You got your job back.
I'm working for it.
Well, it's not a bad idea necessarily. It's just maybe the timing isn't right. That could be it.
May I add to that?
Sure.
I think it would make sense if the town were to hire a social worker because the social worker will be expected to be shared between the police department, the board of health, the council on aging, to work with people in the community. So at that time, I think it makes actually more sense because there'll be an umbrella for them to be under. Where right now there wouldn't be, it's like, who do you put somebody with? So, you know, it's kind of hard to figure that out.
A motion to table this to bring it back to where it was last time, with just Kelly's regular duties.
Motion to send it back to the town manager, bring it back to its original form, all the ones.
Yeah.
You just,
Yeah.
I'm in favor of that.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So I did do council on aging project. Okay, if you want to look at that. I don't know.
Well, it has that adjustment
Yeah.
for your position. Oh,
This is without the,
well, what we have doesn't show the vision, unfortunately. I mean,
The expense budget is, everything else, I think, it looks good on it, other than just we're working with the just on that top line.
okay.
Yeah.
so this budget will come back to us as well.
Yeah, we'll get it back next time.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Appreciate it.
Good, one question before you go. You're here all the time. You know the problems we had with the, veterans agent last fall. And it was supposed to start again, a person from Pittsfield, in January. Has been, she's always been showing up to that position every Wednesday.
No, she's only gonna be once a month.
It's once a month, on
She's gonna be on the first Thursday of the month. That's what the agreement.
the first Thursday of the month.
Yeah. In the afternoon from 12 to 3. So she's supposed to be able to be available to come if somebody can't drive to Pittsfield if it's not on her day.
Yep.
She's supposed to be able to make arrangements to be able to come here. So we'll see what happens.
Now, we clarity for all the veterans out there listening. It's supposed to be on Thursday now,
Thursday in the afternoon, yes.
12 to 3,
12 to 3,
in this building.
yes. The first Thursday of the month.
And I realize it's a confusing issue, but we were given some erroneous information about the location of the Veterans Service Agent in Pittsfield. They are not in the city hall, they are in the senior center.
Well, senior
So if anybody has to have an emergency type situation, you go to the senior center in Pittsfield and the Veterans Office will talk to you.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so if you go in the back parking lot,
Yeah.
they have their own entrance.
Okay?
So the senior center's on the left and then the veteran service is on the right hand side.
Yeah, this is good to know.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the woman's name is Robin Scase. So
Is she holding office hours here still on Wednesdays?
just once a month. Okay.
on Thursday,
Thursday, the first Thursday.
Or Thursdays now?
not 12 to 3. Okay. And just to remind everyone of the discussion that we had when we were talking about moving to Pittsfield, the once a month is what we can do for this fiscal year. We will look at how much traffic there is from now to June. And based on that, we might be able to offer more office hours here. But it'll be based on how many people come in here looking for service. Make sense?
Couple came in on her first day, so hopefully.
So everyone who can get the word out, that'd be great. Well, I try to, they actually sent a few people down here and they did meet with her in Norfolk. They did.
Good.
I didn't realize the days have changed.
Well, we kept her on the Wednesday.
Yeah, from the start with.
To start with, yeah, because that's what people were used to coming.
Right.
But it is changing to the Thursday.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks,
very
Kelly. Okay. Parks and Rec.
Yes, we have L.C. Peters here to present the
the budget for Parks and Rec that we're grateful that they managed for us. Perhaps you could come up close with the DCTV mic.
Before I do talk about the budget, I just want to say thank you. The CRA really appreciates the opportunity to provide sports and recreation to our community. It is our passion, and we really enjoy doing it, so we're just really happy to be able to do that. And also wanted to thank Bud Hall. He's a really great guy to work with. He's very supportive, working with our staff, so I just want to call him out and say thank you. So I just wanted to give you a real quick update on what we've done this past year. Over 1,500 children played youth sports in the past year. That's year-round. And we've been seeing the numbers grow every year. So we have exceeded the numbers that we used to have pre-COVID. So we're doing really well, attracting youth to play sports again. Also, I want to give you an update on the summer programs that we do in the parks. As was suggested, we did move programs into all of the parks this year and did a wide variety of things. We did a Disney bingo, a Lego night, family dance, end of summer carnival, and a number of other things. So tried to provide a variety of programs across the town. So I think everybody really enjoyed that.
Can I ask one question, Kelly? I get hammered every time about a pickleball court. Are we ever going to have a pickleball court? Bud?
Is what?
Maybe we're gonna all sign to be done first in the spring.
Okay, there you go. I think we'll have one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank God.
That gets me out of a pickle, so.
Yeah, pickleballers are growing in numbers, and they're always looking for more places and opportunities to play. So we have a lot of them at the CRA playing indoors, and they really want to play outdoors in the summer. So it'd be great if we can get that to happen. So regarding the budget, it's just a 2% increase, and we level funded kind of the salaries, and we've just added a little bit to help cover the increase that we're seeing in supplies and utilities and things like that. So, if you guys have any questions about any of the programs we've been running or about the budget?
Well,
Money well spent.
I thank you for everything you do because it really pays off with the kids. I mean, you can see it. I mean, just, they love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything you're doing.
I was in my own meeting, and you and the crew are doing a great job. You know,
It's a good team. It's a very good team. Yeah.
TA?
TA.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Allison.
Okay, now we got, let's see.
And we have a number of DPW budgets.
Okay, tree warden. Hey, Mr. Bud.
well, you dress like it's pulled up.
No, jeez.
Right, you summer.
I wish. I'm ready for it. First. The tree warden, I believe I went up. We did the preliminary budgets there in November. I did the 2.5%. Because there's always, I get a lot of calls for trees, like a lot of tree work. So that's like one budget. It's tough to do less at.
How much it costs to knock an average tree down?
I mean, it depends. We do it usually by a day rate. When we have somebody come, it depends. So it all depends on where it is.
It's not cheap, I know.
No, it's not cheap. And, we're pretty good. We do pretty good with what we have. And then, we usually we leave, like the big wood we'll leave there. We go get it ourselves, the highway department. So we don't incur that extra cost to have the contractor pick it up. So we try to do, or if it's somewhere we can pick up the brush, we do that too, to try to get more bang for the buck as much as we can. So, this budget's pretty straightforward, really. There's not much to it. So it was like $1,000, $1,500. And that's probably a third of a day, not a third of a day, a little more than a third of a day. these days.
Any questions?
And the purchase of services, that's just for
Contractor.
contractors.
Yep. Yeah, we still have the stump reimbursement in there.
Do we spend a lot on that, or what did we spend on the?
We've
Just
been-
curious.
Probably going through
I
about
see.
half of it, I want to say maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
We've done a few this year
Yep.
as well, I believe.
Okay.
And I think there's going to be some more coming in at the end of the year. But yeah. Gotta get, sometimes I think maybe something to put out there a little bit on the website. Because I don't think everybody uses that to their advantage. Sometimes anyways. So.
Questions?
TA, I guess I'll have some comments on the overall budget process that I'll make note of after you're done.
Okay.
Not specific to you.
Yeah, no problems. Yeah.
Okay. Highway, 420.
Highway, I kind of, all the salaries are, the association is negotiating with Tom, I think tomorrow morning. The foreman hasn't negotiated yet, has scheduled with Tom yet to do his contract either. So the only one that's really right is mine and the administrative assistant. The other ones are all up one step. It all depends on what's negotiated. So it is up from last year, but it's just everybody up one step. So we'll just, see where that goes. So I don't know exactly for salaries where it's going to be. Expenses, is this what I came up with? I went down and I try to shift around every year to try to get so everything works out as best. In the fuel, oil, gas, I went down a couple $1,000s, but I went up in miscellaneous purchase services to 35, so I'm kind of washed there. And then I went down 1,000 in gasoline and up 1,000 in diesel. And then the uniform budget in the contract with the association, they get uniforms and so much money for clothing allowance, and so that's kind of going up $400. So the overall highway budget I just went up to $400.
Yeah, total expenses.
Yeah,
just
total
up
expenses
four.
0.16.
And that's a $244,000 budget, just for everyone's perspective on that.
Yeah. So it's
So the salaries, we're gonna see some revised numbers in salaries.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
on this one. Well, TA on the expense side, for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll see the salaries
So
at a future meeting.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, snow and ice, 423.
Snow and ice, I went up a little bit. Same thing. I kind of adjusted a little bit. I went up 1,000 in equipment repair and vehicle repair, but I took 2,000 out of gasoline because there's $3,600 in gasoline. The only thing we use gasoline for is the pickup truck and the snow blower around the shop.
Do we use just salt on the roads now and
Yeah.
not sand?
Yeah, it's been that way for probably 12 years or so at this point. Sand's just on dirt.
It's
roads.
a lot more, is it cheaper to do it that way?
It is actually, in the grand scheme of things, like with street sweeping and everything else. Never mind, it works a lot better, much less mess everywhere.
Well, I want to thank you for keeping the roads open for us.
Well, thank you. And then I went up a little bit on plow blades, just for some of the plows, which, I did that, but I don't necessarily have to do it to $2,000 to bring it up 1.5%, 1.52. We do pretty good with what we have, and this is that one budget where if we did have a bad winter, we can go over if we do permission, obviously. But we do our best to stay underneath. So
We appreciate it, believe me.
So are you gonna be revising the plow blades?
yeah,
Keeping it-
I can keep it down. I can take that down just to make it so it's pretty be level.
With the whole new stuff?
Yeah, I could take the 2,000 off.
Do that, read
I mean, that would be great, yeah.
Yeah, just we'll do that.
So we just did 6,000, that reduces the bottom line by $2,000, right?
Yep.
So it'd be
Pretty easy.
170, 580, 592.
Then it would
That
just
makes expenses level funded.
level funded, right?
Great.
Small increase for salaries, but
Yeah,
that's to be expected.
right.
Okay. TA with the adjustment to the plow blades.
Thank
But
you.
how's that budget hold up so far this year?
We're hanging in there. it'll probably, depending on what happens the next month and a half or 2 months, it could be a salary issue. We're pretty good repair wise, knock on wood, and salt at the moment. So we're doing okay. We're doing pretty good. We've had a lot of little storms, which has been, we use just as much salt in those little storms as we do in big storms. So we're doing all right. We're
Okay.
hanging in.
Thank you, bud. Sewer, 440.
Sewer repair. I went up 1,000 in sewer repair, but I went down 2,500 in cement and mortar, and up 1,000 or 2,000. Sorry, I need glasses. In sewer flusher repair maintenance. So, in the grand scheme, it's up $500 or 2%. The sewer flusher is dated. It's really dated. It's my capital request, which whenever capital comes up, if it's another meeting, whatever, you'll see that. That's going to be a big ask for me. But with the ARPA funds, we stocked up on a lot of block, cement, a lot of tooling, everything to help us out. So it makes it way easier for us to kind of go low on budgets this year. So
Okay, good.
it was a great addition for us to have that ability this year.
TA.
Okay, cemetery, 491.
I believe I level fund cemetery.
Yeah, Yep, expenses are level.
Yeah. And then it's just, like I said, salaries all kind of will come to fruition here soon.
Okay.
TA?
TA.
Parks. It's
Okay,
parks.
transfer station, 434.
Transfer station is down. Transfer station, oops, that's the wrong one. Heck. Sorry. Transfer station, those salaries will be good. So he's not in negotiation for anything for transfer station attendant. No, that salary is what it is. With his normal step increase, if that's what's approved. This is the only budget that, is complete, should I say.
Okay.
The hazardous waste services is pretty much our Northern Berkshire solid waste dues. They said there might be a small increase, so I put in, I think $500. And the other thing, contracted services went down a bunch. As you can see, the overall is down $14,200 for minus 6.48%. And that's due to our hauling. We finally will be out as of July 1st out of our previous contract, which when we took over the transfer station, we were in it, which was $630 per haul to Springfield. And now we're going to be going, if everything gets approved, be going through, still Casella will still be hauling, but we'll be going to the Twin Bridges recycling, which is over in New York. That's a little over $300. I don't have the exact number. They're still negotiating it, but it's half.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that goes out a week. It goes out once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big save for us. And we've also, with us buying the compactors through ARPA and dumpsters through ARPA, we got rid of the rental fees that we used to have. We don't have anymore. So the transfer station is coming along. So
Well, it's good to see a $12,000 decrease in this budget. Thank you.
Yes.
TA.
Yep.
Okay, park, 650.
Parks is level. I know that. That, once again, that's just salaries due to the one operator who's in there for 6 months.
TA on that. Parts. For me. Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
Stephen.
Wait, that's,
So the comment I wanted to make about the overall budget process was essentially, the select board does call tentative approval. We're not necessarily an approving body at the budget. Obviously, we have feedback in the budget process. My concern is when we look at one budget by itself and I see an increase or a decrease, and we evaluate it on its merits by itself, that's all fine and good. Nothing wrong with that, but I want to see the full budget context, where that falls in. And I know we do budgets under a certain amount to start, but if we could start it, or maybe even for the next one, I want to see the total budget. I want to know what the total increase we're projecting for salaries and expenses, for town expenses, that is, independent of the school budget, but this separate thing, we'll evaluate. But I just feel like we operate in somewhat of a vacuum when we look at just one budget by itself. That's my viewpoint.
It would be nice
The
to see the
process,
overall, yeah.
to see the overall impact, where we could say, okay, so 200 here is not that big of a deal when you look at the overall picture, but if you add 200 up times, 50 accounts, or 1,000 here, 1,000 there, that adds up a lot. I want to see the total increase, just so I can evaluate each budget in the context of the bigger picture. So,
Dan, I could agree with you more. What we should be doing is come up with a comprehensive budget for town operations, and all done before we send it to the financing, not send it piecemeal. But the town operating budget, and I hate to use this word, it's almost meaningless. We're at the mercy of the school.
Yeah.
The school budget this year is projected to be up 4 or 5%, which translates into, I think, $2 million. Quote from the Berkshire, iBerkshire. Out of $2 million, 60% of that is ours. So we're going to be at a hook for $1 million here before budgeting season gets over, and it's going to be very difficult. Problem is, our approach would be good if we could somehow, but there's almost nothing you can do with these operating budgets. They're so tight to the bone that it's almost impossible to cut. In fact, they even come down a little bit. And that's the problem. We all know it. And what are we going to do about it? Nothing. You keep doing the same thing every year?
Tom?
Dan, I'd like to have a more in-depth conversation.
absolutely. I'll be in a town hall Wednesday at 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chairman of the Finance Committee wanted to say something.
Bill?
Bill Justine, Chair of the Finance Committee. To your point, Dan, at the Finance Committee level that these budgets come to, we use 2 tools, and one of them just recently came through for us that was prepared as a 5-year projection. I shouldn't say 5-year, 5-year history.
To look back, yeah.
Look back at this budgeting and the budgeting process. And it has all of those line items that you see in your worksheets. You have that's known as the long form, and then the sheet behind it is what you see for the recent history.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have our budget, it's a budget worksheet that was made by Terry Williams, my predecessor. And that budget worksheet is an indispensable tool. As we go through the process, we can see how that budget is beginning to stack up as we get to the end of the deliberation season. This year, it looks like the deliberation season is going to be ending probably the last Wednesday of March.
Okay.
If all things align, and we can be sure that a copy of that is given to the select board after each one of our budget deliberations. Like this coming Wednesday, we're going to have a deliberation. Some of those numbers will be plugged into this worksheet, and we can convey that, if you'd like, to the select board. If that's something that the select board is interested in. Is that something you'd be interested in, Chair?
Yes, we need it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just want to see the context of these individual budgets and the greater budget. That's my thing. When I used to present budgets to a board of directors in my professional experience, it would be, I'd present the total budget and then we drill down from that, rather than present, here's this department's budget, then go back up. We'd start at the top and drill our way down as needed. But for me, I just want to see the context. I'm going to see it eventually. I just want to see it sooner, if possible.
Okay.
Well, school district is pretty much like the cars.
Oh, yeah, it's a long look at this. Yeah, it's got 4 point some%. You translate it to $2 million.
There may be some adjustments to that, maybe some revenue or aid.
But that's 60% of our budget. That's out there already. So it's, there's a context for you to look at it.
Oh, yeah, for sure, but I have no control over that budget.
Well,
I can vote on that budget, but I don't have really any influence over it other than the vote that I can take the town meeting. I don't see any way that I can.
well,
I can go to the school
it's like more than
meeting.
you don't have to vote for it. I mean,
No, I understand that.
Okay.
okay,
Let's
we
move on.
have some control.
Okay. All right. Vacation policy proposal. Tom?
Yeah, all right. I will get this nailed out, actually.
Today, this is based on the previous discussion. This is to allow candidates for Dalton employment to apply their previous municipal service to the amount of vacation that they would get if they came into Dalton, so they wouldn't sacrifice a week's vacation coming into town. Chance to read that. We don't currently have any other benefit based on time worked in municipal service, but it could, if we adopted longevity, that would be another way. We wouldn't want someone with 10 years experience to sacrifice that to come to work to Dalton. If we were giving, stuff like that for longevity.
I just, you should strike the words based on time worked in municipal service. Say someone changed the work for us from Katrina, the work his town highway department, and he got 4 weeks vacation there. But because he didn't have prior municipal service, he would have no vacation.
Well, we start with 2 weeks vacation here, and you'll know, and that concern is why I added the last sentence saying, we're not talking about starting pay here. Starting pay can be considered when hiring someone as well. That would come through pay. But that phrase refers is together with vacation time. So if you're calculating vacation time or any other benefit, that would be applied to their municipal service here. But I am limiting it to municipal service at this point. And I think because there's a different system of compensation. We have our own pension system, and that I did feel that limitation was appropriate, but you may differ.
Those questions. And this amount of time on vacation will be determined by the applicable retirement board. Who is that?
Well, if they are coming to us from somewhere in Berkshire County, it would be the Berkshire Regional Retirement Board. If they were coming to us from Hampshire County, it would be the Hampshire Regional Retirement. They're the ones who track how long somebody has worked in municipal service.
So that's why it will only be applicable to people that work in municipal service.
Yeah, and another option that I did not include was opening up to people coming from state service. So would we credit them with time? So that would be an option that would be pretty relevant. I did want to present something, at least at first, it was as limited as I could make it, allowing people with municipal service to get credit for their prior service. It could be broadened out in the future, but I wanted to start from a narrower place.
The only recommendation I would make, Tom, is when it says the applicable retirement board, I think you also have to narrow it down to the job that they're performing. you have somebody coming from the town of Dalton and worked in Pittsfield. And they also worked up in Waynesboro for a couple of years in a completely different job. They're gonna have eight, say 6 years there, 2 years up in Lanesboro. They'd have 8 years in their retirement. Are we gonna give 8 years credit for 8 years towards their vacation, or 6 years if it's applicable in Pittsfield?
I did think of that, and my main thought was that most people will not switch careers within municipal work. Some people will, but my sense is that most people will be moving in a certain area that will inform what they're doing in their new position. But it's true, if for the purposes of a pension, it doesn't matter at all what kinds of jobs you have. All that matters is your total service. And that was, again, what I mirrored here.
I think it's a good policy. I would support it. And I think it should be for now limited certainly to municipal experience. You know, we want to attract and retain qualified candidates who have experience. I think it's important for the town. It's a valuable thing. It's very expensive to hire and hire again and hire again. So if you can reduce that turnover a little bit, this helps that. I think the benefits there for the town. So I'm in support of it. Whether the exact policy needs maybe a little bit more wordsmithing, I don't know. It seems like there were some comments about that, but
I definitely think it incentivizes people coming to Dalton, other municipalities.
Yeah, but not just municipal workers. One of our biggest turnovers is now the highway department. People are leaving us, and now where do you recruit? You recruit from construction companies. Actually, in the previous, et cetera, et cetera. And they wouldn't be included in this program. I mean, I agree with the policy now of doing this, but I'd like to see it expand.
Well,
I mean, as soon as you can.
If we can start here.
Yeah, start here, but then work on this.
Build it.
Yeah.
Start here and build it.
Make a motion to accept it as presented.
Right.
Okay, all those in favor? Oh,
Aye.
Sebastian. Yeah. Opposed? Okay.
Thank you very much. And Tom, you will work on this extensively.
There are a number of ways it could be tweaked.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Great.
All right. Town manager updates.
Yes. As you heard mentioned earlier, the governor has joined cities and towns in asking the legislature for a multi-year increase in Chapter 90 funds, $300 million per year over 5 years. That said, the legislature has rejected a 3-year commitment of $300 million per year before, so we'll have to wait and see how they approach this advocacy. We have received notice from our insurer, Maya, that medical insurance rates, our health insurance program, will be going up considerably. For the current year, fiscal year 25, we're paying $870,639. The minimum percentage rise Maya is projecting is 9.92%, and the maximum is 19.92%, with Dalton's rise expected to be close to the high end due to our 3-year look-back experience.
What does that translate to dollar time?
A 20% rise would be $174,126. And we expect Dalton's rise to be close to that amount. After this year, we expect our 3-year look-back experience to be better.
Can't get much worse.
In slightly better news, it looks as though our sewer treatment costs will be going up only about 8% rather than the 16% it rose last year. This means an increase of about $124,000 rather than $249,000. Please note that just the two items above will raise the town's operating budget by about $298,000, almost $300,000. A number of pieces of legislation that could help the town are scheduled for the upcoming session. They include establishing a municipal building fund, making the remote meeting option permanent, it expires in March, municipal control over the number of liquor licenses available, along with a number of local option initiatives, I should say local revenue option initiatives. I'll let you know if any of these meet your advocacy as the session advances. I'm moving forward with John Boyle, with arranging an informal meeting for Dalton and Pittsfield residents to meet regarding the reconstruction of Division Road, with the goal of getting general agreement on the need and our general direction for a plan. This comes at the 10% design phase, with a formal meeting scheduled for the 25% design phase. I'd like to thank John Boyle for assisting in contacting the Pittsfield City Councilors who represent the area and looking into possible venues. The target date for the meeting we now have is the third Wednesday in February, I believe.
It's the 19th anyway, and it's on a Wednesday evening. And it is at the Silver Mill, Silver Maple Condos. As you go in there, it's off Dalton Division Road.
On Red Barn Road.
Yeah, on Red Barn Road. The first building on the left. It's their clubhouse.
It's their council, there's a little townhouse there, a little recreation center.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're in the process of notifying actually public officials, Dalton, and all residents on both sides of Dalton Road, Dalton Division Road. If they check with that, it would be good. And of course, the engineers will be doing most of the talking and answering questions, but they will elaborate on what stage of the project we're at, which is on about 10%. And they might have suggestions as to how we should proceed, how we view their plans, and we take what options.
Important to get this done during the informal 10% phase before it gets to formal 25% hearing.
Okay.
And finally, Jeff Birch, as safety officer, and I met with Anaya to go over our action plan, a document containing both mandatory and recommended actions, which might have required for several years due to a high cost of claims, mainly from one accident. There is a 3-year look back, so our cost of coverage should be reduced after that, but we are still subject to the costs on the action plan this year. We should have no trouble meeting the required actions in the plan, but solely trainings. That's my report for tonight.
Has Orchard Road been out to bid yet?
I'm sorry?
Has Orchard Road been put out to bid yet?
It has not been put out to bid yet. It is very close. The projected time of starting is still April 1st.
Oh. Okay. Any other questions for Tom? How was the conference?
It was good. I made a number of notes on things, and I've already started contacting people about things I've learned.
Okay. Okay, items not anticipated 48 hours before the meeting. Any? Well, remarks of the select board?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
This pains me deeply, but I feel as though I should say it. That I had 2 packed cartels for election to the select board signs on my lawn. And Friday night they were stolen. And I told Mr. Cassell who happened to be here this evening. And he's missed several other signs that they've taken down. And I don't know if there's a problem with other candidates, now the communication with them. But I do apologize to the candidates. You mind if I finish what I'm saying? I do apologize to all candidates for the mischief, miscreant behavior of a few misguided individuals. But as you well know, we are a community of integrity, respect of people's property, and we hate to see this happen. Just another black eye. Well, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay.
That's about, want to say something about that there.
Mr. Collins.
I'd just like to let you know that I've also had 7 signs of mine taken during this campaign, putting signs out. So I feel for Mr. Truxell also.
Yeah, thank
let
you.
you know.
Rich?
I mean, yeah, the sign been taken, but I mean, weather's also been a factor on some of these. I know my signs are stabbed at the base, so I'm not saying that, well, let's not put fingers at people stealing these signs.
Well, wait a minute, if you work my lawn on Friday night and they're not there Saturday, and any remnants, which I searched through the snow, what happened to them then, besides being stolen?
I'm just saying, let's not talk to that.
What are you saying? I said they were stolen, they got
That's enough, let's go.
Just saying,
Okay.
I've had signs blow away on my house.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay. For the announcements. Want to know more about what's happening in Dalton? Sign up for Paper Town News, our monthly newsletter. Please visit the town website for more information. The Dalton Police Department is reminding the citizens of Dalton for the winter parking ban, which goes into effect November 15th, 2024, and will be in effect to April 15th, 2025, between the hours of 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. During this time, there will be no parking on the streets. The town's clerk's office would like to remind citizens they have until February 6th to license their dogs without additional fees. After that date, a $10 fee per dog will be added. There are numerous committees and boards and vacancies, including the Dalton Housing Authority. If you are interested in the Dalton Housing Authority, please call Sue Gregory at 684-2493. For other vacancies, please see the town websites for more information or reach out to the town manager's office. The town is contracted with Colonial Power to provide an electricity plan for town residents, which have resulted in new prices lower than current Eversource prices. For more details, to opt out or in, visit town websites or call town manager's office. The town of Dalton currently has the following employment opportunities: assistant town collector, that's filled, part-time building and grounds assistants, and a part-time COV van driver. Please visit the town website or contact the town manager's office for more information. Dalton's official meeting postings, agendas, and minutes can be viewed at mytowngovernment.org/01226. The next meeting of the select board will be scheduled to take place Monday, February 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Senior Center with an option for remote participation.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into executive session in accordance with Mass General Law 30A, Section 21A7, to comply with or act under the authority of a general or special law or federal grant and aid requirements, namely, to review and approve executive session minutes of December 16th, 2024, and for also to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, police sergeants, highway, cemetery, dispatch, and not return to open session.
Okay, roll call vote. Mark?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Bob, yes. We'll be reconvened in the back office in 5 minutes.
Stuff to get out.